Hello everyone, Thomas Runner here and welcome back to my first video after 7 months. It's been quite some time since my last video on the YouTube, but we're back as you can see with Q1 PSGL
on the lap,
the first round at Portimao. Going to be a very crucial one in the championship. As you can see, this is going to be the grid for today. Quite a stacked grid with, I would say, a full equals grid if I'm being honest. I think only Otis is an equals driver if I'm looking correctly, and Shanaka as well. But to be honest, it feels like an equals race when you keep doing PSGL. So we're here today, as you can see, for the first round at Portimao, and we're just gonna try and do our best with this random track format. As you guys are now probably familiar, but of course live doing these races, and you can follow us doing these races as well, as we let Danny Bresnay through, who is, I believe, the first one that's about to finish the lap, and I also believe he will go quickest of all in 23 seconds as we start our first Q1 lap. Not very familiar with the track at the moment, as Danny Bresnay actually pulls into the pit lane. The area is wide open and heading in towards turn number 1. You want to try and stay within the track limits ideally on your first banker lap, because not many people are very familiar with the track. I'm sort of familiar with the track because I've done time trial around here, and I've done a league race around there, I would say a month ago, but that was very late into the night for a charity event. As you can see, a 0.62 in the first sector, which isn't great, but is good at the moment, especially looking at the others. It was actually further by, I believe, over a tenth, but of course I'm probably a bit more familiar with the track than others, and that kind of helped me in this race, I can't lie, have to admit that. But of course, like I thought you try sometimes, and we just have to make the most out of it. Heading in towards the sector 2 split, 0.873, which is purple once again. We just have to keep it within the white lines in this last sector, as 15 people already finished the laps, make that 16 now, and in towards the final corner, getting in the power nicely, and across the lane we go in just a second, keeping a tight line towards the line to minimize the track distance. Here is over for the last sprint, and it's going to be a 0.658, which at the time was, I think, P1 by 2.5 tenths. As we head into Q2 now.
Oh yeah, it's raining, no? It's raining. Go on you.
As you can hear me say, do I want to go on new or used? But I've been told I have to go on a new set, because we were in a hurry
for the temperature to load in. Jeez.
And they're kind of questioning my engineers how the conditions were in the beginning of Q2, and as you can see, the clouds are already forming in the sky, and it's going to get darker and darker very soon. And if I'm being honest, this was the only lap you possibly could have done, so we have to sort of get in a hurry. As you can see, we have, I believe, Brendan right behind us. I've just told him he can get past, because Brendan usually does a bit quicker for our lap than I do. As you can see, he's trying to overtake a few cars here. I'm also not going extremely slow this out lap. Usually I'm going a lot slower, but that's only because I want to get a bit more track position on track. As you can see, we're not exactly at the front of the queue. I wouldn't even say we're at the back, but we're quite in the middle. So if you mess up your lap, you might be out in Q2 purely because of the rain arriving. So we have to be careful if it is going to rain towards the end of Q2. So, as you can see, we're behind Brendan, who is going to probably overtake another few cars, because he usually likes to have track in low track position. As you can hear me say as well.
More like in the middle of the park, so if we just do a lap, it should be alright.
Don't know what I said there, but I think I said I wanted to get temperature in my tyres ideally instead of track position at this point, because we're already quite far into the lap. You can see behind there's a wild McLaren coming up behind us, which is Otis Lawrence, who actually makes contact with Brendan. Wasn't needed, I would say, but again, I understand people are in a hurry and they have to get the laps in. So this is going to be the only lap in Q2, so I will just take you out throughout our lap around Portimao. So once again, taking a bit wider line this time, heading in towards your lap because you want to carry as much speed as possible on this straight. As the lap starts right now, the air is wide open and heading in towards Q1 of turn 1, braking just after the 100 meter board, using all the track on the exit to keep it tight for the little kink on the right. Kind of drifting throughout this corner, getting the rotation very nicely, and that was a very solid sector 1, which is going to be a 0.478, which is a 10.5 quicker than what I did in Q1. So at the moment it is looking very promising, heading in towards the second part of the lap. Flat out in this right hander, keeping in 6th gear, and then downshift 2 gears to 4th to keep the car stable on the exit. As you can see, the car just wants to step out, and if you use 3rd gear, it is going to be extremely difficult to keep the car under control. Again, 4th gear through can go 3rd, but 4th for the exit is so much better. 7.468, which I think is also a 10th lap quicker than Q1, so our Q2, oh sorry, sector 2 was actually quite equal compared to our Q1 lap, but I just knew I had to keep up in the white lines, and the last sector, it felt the same as Q1, so I don't think we're gonna go much faster than our Q1 lap. 10.5, maybe a 10th, as we come across the line to do a 0.499, which is, I think, 2 and a bit tenths clear at the moment, and that actually get us through into Q3. Now, this is where the interesting part comes. We are starting our first lap in Q3, but I believe we were kind of wrong with the wings because I didn't know park firmware was off. Also, the laps itself, it wasn't particularly amazing because I couldn't really get used to these conditions as much, so that wasn't ideal. You can see I'm struggling to get on the power here, and it's not looking good at the moment. I would say it's a 0.71 first. And yeah, you can see by that drift there is, I'm looking for grip so much, and the confidence is just not there at the moment in these interconditions. You can see having to completely lift up the throttle and even brake. I'm going deep in this corner. It's a very messy lap so far, and yeah, I just knew this is not going to be anywhere near pole position at this point. So I have to get a somewhat decent final set. Again, 2 ties in this right hander. And I believe I was 3 and a bit tenths off in the second sector, which was understandable. Again, missing the apex, struggling to get on the power, and in towards the last corner. Very good apex, and also got a pretty decent exit. But it's not going to be enough for pole position at the moment. It is going to be close though for the first run. You can see Jarno Opmeer in P1, Bernally going P2 just behind Jarno, and we slot in between those two. And it's going to be P2 at the moment, and heading in towards my final run actually. I've been told that the conditions were getting worse and worse, so we went out early. As you can see, there's still 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, you can already tell the grip is starting to fade away already, but because our lap wasn't great a few minutes ago, we still managed to get an improvement at the end of this lap. So once again, heading into turn 1, getting into the apex a lot nicer, but again you can just see the grip is just not there at the moment. Struggling to get on the power, getting the rotation a bit more nicely, but again you can still see stabbing on the steering wheel. Still a good sector 1 at 23.963. You can see as well we took this a lot better than last time, so we are at the moment 2 and a bit tenths up, which is very promising, I would say. But then heading in towards this corner, it's just not hitting the apex, and then heading towards this corner, again not hitting the apex. So lost another half a tenth, I would say. Still 2 tenths up though, so we can still do something in this last sector if we can. Heading in towards this right hander, getting loose on the rear, but we somehow managed to find 2.5 tenths. But for some reason the grip just wasn't there, and it's not going to be enough. Get us to the front of the queue. 3 tenths up though, and you would think that's going to be a good improvement, but just lost the rear final corner, and all the time it just went away. It was. Yeah, you can hear me complaining about the fact that it's been worse. Just made a mistake final corner and wasn't able to make another improvement. As you can see, I'm going again, but then just pushing the car. And that was it for Q3. Starting P5 in this race. You can see going to be starting on the softs with a good amount of people starting on the softs as well. You can see the 2 people behind me starting on mediums with Alvaro and Brendan as the 5 red lights are on, and it's going to be lights out and away we go. Getting a pretty, I would say, poor exit, a second launch I should say, but somehow we just got a way better launch than Jarno had, and we just fly around the outside, leaving the room here for Jarno, and then up to P4 we go, which was a very crucial move. Now we need to stay ahead of the Dutchman behind and try and follow the top 3 if we can. Otis Lawrence leading the way, Danny Bresman P2 and Shanak at P3. So we just gotta keep focus, try and stay within the DRS train of Shanak and Danny and Otis. We shouldn't be a problem in this race. Just gonna be a DRS train, and gonna be a strategical race as well with the pit stop, I would say. Undercuts, overcuts, they will come in play. You'll see at the end of the race there's one guy, you'll see throughout the race as well, who had a really good strategy and really good pace, and he managed to fight himself to the front with a different strategy. Not gonna spill who yet, but you will find out in a second. As you can see, I'm going for the move on Shanaka Clay, heading towards P1, and I was up into the top 3 with still 80% battery left in the tank. I think it's been a pretty good start so far. Definitely maximized what I could have done, and now we just gotta stay smart, play it safe, don't get any warnings, and try and tip the tires as well if we can. You can see, moving on to a different lap, you can see Jarno set the fastest lap, and I just did not expect it. Jarno just absolutely flown past us into turn 1. He had a way better setup in the straights, which definitely, I didn't expect that to be that much of a difference. But yeah, if you just use your battery, you can quite clearly tell, and you can pull away quite a lot. So yeah, I'm down to P4 on lap 3. But that's not a problem for now. There's still 30 laps left of this race, and like I said, we just gotta keep it up. Nothing unfortunately happened until about lap 12, where a few guys pitted behind for an undercut. You can see Jarno and Otis fighting it out in turn 1. Jarno pushed Otis wide, rightfully so. Definitely made a good move there. But Otis isn't going to give this up quite easily. He's going to try again into turn number 4 or 5. But Jarno defends very well, and Otis decides to back off. And of course we can't fight too much because there's been people behind us undercutting, including Shanaka Clay, who I believe pitted from P3, if I'm not mistaken, or P4 even. So we just gotta stay close to these two, or D3 even ahead of us, but Danny Bresman has pulled a tiny bit of a gap to Jarno because of the battling we had, and then you can quite clearly tell how much time just 1 or 2 corners fighting actually costs. It's definitely near half a second. So not an ideal in lap. You can see Brandon Lee behind us, only 3/10 away, and he's gonna get a free DRS as well heading in towards this race. I tried to go for a move, I noticed. Hopefully he was going to stay out, but then I realized he was going to pit. Taking it easy into the pit lane. As you can see, they're taking quite a bit of risk into the pits. We're trying to overtake each other. So we peel into the pit lane. Going to be putting on the medium tyres, obviously, towards the end of the race. The other 2, or the other 3 I should say even, are going to pit for those tyres as well. As we get a pretty good exit, or a pretty good shift up time out of the pit lane, so we actually didn't overtake, or nearly overtook Otis Lawrence. But it's going to be very tight on this exit, I can already tell you that. Frederick Rasmussen up the inside, tried the second round the outside here. Freddy gets a really good exit. I tried to go for it, but then I decided to back off. Freddy is a very clean driver, so I'm not expecting him to do anything crazy at this point, as he actually goes for a dive on Otis, which I don't think he's meant to do that. He just tried to probably avoid an accident. So we're currently in a net P6, I believe, in this train. So it's not ideal, I must say, but we're definitely on the newest tyres, heading in towards the second part of this race, and it's just going to be a 6-way fight for the win. As you can see, big shock with the car behind, batting it out. Jake Benham and Isvan Pookie going side by side into this corner. Isvan Pookie sends out the inside once again, and Jake Benham, I think, will come out on top of this. Yeah, try to go for a move, Jake, and it worked well for him. And as you can see now, I'm trying to sort of get myself ahead of Frode Grafferson, but I'm just gonna try and save my battery as much as I can, because I need the battery for the second part of this race. As we enter lap 15, moving on a lap later, you can see using a bit of my battery. Freddie knows it's not worth fighting at this point in the race. He will definitely backfire towards the end of the race, but he decides to let me through, and that's us up into a net P5 in this race at the moment, with Danny Beretne still leading the way. As you can see, we absolutely get that corner wrong, but still in DRS, and we just gotta save our battery once again and try and go for a cheeky move on Otis Lawrence and potentially get a podium in this race. It's gonna be hard, of course, with the position we're in at the moment, but we definitely have the tyres and the pace to do so. We just gotta be smart and try to go for a move when it's possible. You can see Otis Lawrence is very close to Jan Ortmere, and we just gotta try and stay somewhat close to the guys ahead of us. You can see with the gap is shrinking and shrinking every time as we set a purple sector, and through the last corner as well. We get a pretty good launch. Are we going to use the battery? No, we're not. We're going to stay behind, and you can actually see Otis Lawrence, I think it's going for a move on Jarno up here, but you can tell when Jarno is getting alongside, or Otis is getting alongside Jarno, he is actually forced Jarno to overtake Chanukka, and actually helped Jan Ortmere quite well actually. It caught Chanukka off guard. As you can see, they're having a ding dong battle at the moment, and I'm trying to get the most out of this because they're side by side throughout this whole lap, and you can see I'm getting a bit frustrated throughout the lap, and I just wanted to go for a move towards the end of the lap. You can see they're burning a battery side by side, making contact into this right hander now. Turn number 8, very difficult corner. You can see Otis pushes the Chanukka wide. I'm making the 3 wide at the moment, but then I realised I should probably back off and go for a switchback move, and we get a very good exit. You can see trying to get up the inside of Otis, and then yeah, this move probably wasn't on. You can hear me say sorry. Gave the positions back, and even dropped behind Frederick behind this lap. You can see I'm trying to stay behind Chanukka, but I'm also trying to stay ahead of the group behind us. And yeah, you can see I tried to give Chanukka a bump, and
why do I have to lock up every time?
you can see I'm getting a bit frustrated at the moment. It's just not very good, a very smart move for me. It's my fault, definitely. Probably should have just stayed behind Chanukka or just follow Chanukka throughout the inside. But yeah, now we've lost the 2 leaders of Danny Breckner and Jan Ortmere. Luckily for us, you'll see throughout the race, we did eventually catch up to them on the last 10 laps or so, with the pace that Otis Lawrence had, and myself as well. We managed to save a bit of battery. You can see Chanukka and Otis are actually flashing up ahead, and yeah, you can see drifting through this corner because I wanted to get a good launch on Freddie Rasmussen. You can see I'm getting up the inside, don't use my battery too much, and up to a net P5 we go. Like I said, Freddie is a very clean driver, always like to fight with him, and he just lets us go for now. Still on 50% battery, which is very solid. yeah, we're just gonna keep it up. Shanaka at this point is on higher battery than we are at the moment, I believe. But we need to try and go for Mibo Shanaka ideally, and then we can get past Otis as well, because he's flashing at the moment, which means he's under 10% battery. But even though he's not got the ERS to fight, he's still managing to catch the two leaders with the pace that he has in that McLaren. So fair play to Otis for the pace he had this race. Definitely one of, if not the quickest on track today. You can see Shanaka, I don't know why he doesn't defend, but he lets us through into a net P4, and you can see now what I said in the beginning of the race. There are two guys on a different strategy, Brendan Lee and Alvaro Carreton, who are only like 5-6 seconds back in, I believe now P15 and 16, or P14, 15. They are going to be with us in, I would say, 5 laps, because of the tyre difference that they have. At this moment our mediums are already below the last drop-off phase. So Brendan Lee and Alvaro Carreton are going to be definitely in this fight towards the end of the race, and we gotta keep that in mind, that we need to make some moves now and make them efficient as well. You can see Apex not there, trying to push as hard as I can to close the gap to Otis. Definitely have the ERS advantage to play with, which definitely helps. Otis nearly in the ERS of Jan Ortmeier. He's just gonna miss out. You can see he is using battery, even though he's below 10% ERS. He is still gonna try and use battery. You can see he's weaving, saying, "Let me through," or "Get past me." And you can see now up at Jan Ortmeier, because of the lower wing sort of downforce setup, he didn't have great pace throughout this race, but because of the straight line speed, it was very hard to overtake him. So that's why he's at the front of the queue at the moment. I mean, I gotta say, it is a smart choice to probably get on the lower wing sort of setup if you're qualifying at the front anyway. Especially around here where overtaking is very hard in the corners, unless you have a big tyre advantage, as you'll see with Brendan Lee and Alvaro Carreton. They're gonna absolutely fly through this field. You can see I have to use all my battery that I have to get into the DRS of Danny Beresne. I probably shouldn't have used battery as much, because I was in DRS anyways, so that's a bit of a rookie error for me. You can see Jarno going wide again. He doesn't have the grip at the moment to sort of carry Danny Beresne along, which is good for us. Managing to make a gap to Otis Roberts as well behind of 6.5 tenths as we head into the last phase of the race. Simon Wagon pits from the lead and adds us up into an actual P3 in this race. Everybody is now pitted. As you can see, Brendan Lee has the fastest lap of this race, and we just got to keep this up until the end of the race. Nicholas Longay now goes quickest. Excuse me. And now we're right behind Jan Ortmeier in P3, heading towards lap 26. And like I said, Brendan Lee, all of our Carreton are going to be the main character in this race. As you can see, I'm pulling towards the left hand side. Try to let Brendan through on the racing line, but Brendan Lee was deafened at the moment, which means he's muted his headset and his mic in Discord, so he wasn't hearing anything that the engineers were saying or what I was saying, which is rightfully so, because he's got a big tyre advantage and a big ERS advantage as well. You're gonna see he's gonna try and go for a move on Jan Ortmeier down the inside. Didn't quite work for him though. He's gonna try and go for it again into the left hander. Better things of it. And there's still 7 laps left of this race. My goal here is to follow Brendan Lee ideally to Danny Beresne and Jan Ortmeier. So it is Merc versus Alpha at this point. Of course, Danny is in the Red Bull, but he's of course part of Mercedes esports in this race. So we just gotta play it smart. Unfortunately, as you can see, Brendan Lee overtook both of them, but because of the ERS advantage that he had He wasn't able to sort of pull away from the rest of the field. You can see Danny Beresnay gets past Brendan Lee for the lead of the race, and unfortunately for Brendan, Danny Beresnay had a bit more ERS to play with because he was saving behind Brendan. So the leading two are going to stay what they are. We are still in a fight with Jan Altmere for P3 in this race, so we're going to try our best to get close to him as possible. As you can see, he's still a bit sliding on the rear, so because of the straight line speed he has, you can see he's just pulling away every time on the straights, which wasn't ideal of course on the last lap. Couldn't get close enough to the top three unfortunately, so we have to probably look a bit further behind than we look ahead, with Otis Lawrence, a very quick driver once again in P5. And yeah, unfortunately it's only going to be P4 today, which is I guess a good thing that I only say it's only P4. Of course, looking for a move down into the Jarno, but it didn't quite work unfortunately. So I have to use the last bit of my battery to get close to Jan Altmere, but it's not going to be enough unfortunately. In this race, it's going to be P4. Good points though at the start of the season, happy with it. And yeah, we just got to keep this up to the rest of the season. You can see this is the end result with Danny Beresnay winning the race, Brendan P2, Jan P3, myself P4, Otis P5, Alvaro 6th, Shanaka 7th, Freddy 8th, Jake 9th, and Ulos Azurum rounding out the top 10. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you very much everybody for watching this race. It's been a very enjoyable race, definitely, learned a lot, a bit chaotic here and there, but I certainly enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Make sure to follow my socials down below in the description. This video will only be uploaded on Friday, but usually I will be uploading on Thursday and Sunday, possibly a third video of the week on Tuesday. Again, I'll keep you guys updated on my socials. Make sure to like and subscribe down below, and all I gotta say is I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao everybody.